Howdy everyone, and let's get right into this one. The Pergear company have just released this specialist lens for us all to enjoy, their new 60mm f2.8 macro 2:1. It's a completely manual focus lens. It's designed for mirrorless cameras, so that's Fuji X, Sony E, Nikon Z and Micro Four Thirds. It offers you an aps-c image circle. Here's what you get when shooting on full frame. And its party trick is that it can focus down incredibly closely to your subject, giving you 2 times magnification. Fantastic! That's a lot of fun, although your image gets very dark at that kind of magnification. It's £199 in the UK, or about $230 in the US, so it's a reasonably low budget option. I'd like to thank Pergear for sending me a copy of this lens for testing, although as usual, this is a totally independent review. Let's get stuck in. For an aps-c camera lens, this thing is really quite big and heavy. Its metallic body weighing in at 600 grams. Its rear mount is also made of metal, but it is not weather sealed. At the rear you can find the aperture control ring, which turns smoothly, but a bit firmly, between f2.8 and f16. Then, closer to the front of the lens, you get a large focus ring, which also turns smoothly and pretty heavily. It turns about 180 degrees, offering reasonable precision when shooting at close distances, but when shooting at normal distances, it does feel a bit fiddly actually. Something you can see here is the lens's absolutely enormous focus breathing. My goodness, even for a macro lens, that is strong. That can actually make it a bit tricky to properly frame your image when you're focusing right into something small. Here is the front of the lens. A coated glass layer covers the front. My first thought upon laying eyes on it was, I wonder if that'll cause flaring problems. Wait and see. The front filter size is 62mm, and as I've mentioned, this is a totally manual lens, so no autofocus, no camera controlled aperture, no image stabilization. Overall, it is just a dead simple lens really, surprisingly big and heavy for an aps-c optic, and I wish its focus ring was a little more precise when shooting at normal distances. Okay, well, let's look at its image quality at normal distances. I am testing it here on a Sony a5100 with its 24MP aps-c sensor. At f2.8, the situation is not great. We see strong astigmatism, chromatic aberration, and only average contrast levels. I did actually contact Pergear to check that this lens was performing normally. They told me just to stop down the aperture for a sharper picture. So not a good start in the middle at f2.8, and the corners look softer too. At f4, the corners look marginally better, and the middle a little sharper as well. At f5.6, the middle looks a touch sharper again, although mild chromatic aberration and astigmatism do still hang around a bit. They never completely go away, to be honest. The corners look averagely sharp at f8. They stay this sharp down to about f11, where softness begins to creep in due to the effect of diffraction. So it's not a good performance from the lens here. Stop down to f5.6 or f8 and the performance becomes fairly sharp, but chromatic aberration on contrasting edges is a real perennial issue for it. Well, this is an ultra macro lens, so let's see about its close-up image quality now. At f2.8, close-up image quality looks pretty messy. That astigmatism is causing vertical resolution to be greatly reduced, giving a smeary kind of look, and colour fringing is still pretty strong. However, stop down to f4 for a huge increase in sharpness and contrast, although again, that chromatic aberration remains. At f5.6, you can see a slight softness emerging in the image. Why is that? Well, the physical effects of diffraction do start kicking in much earlier when shooting very close up, and it's particularly noticeable on an aps-c camera too. As a further example of this, stop down to f8 or f11 for some very soft close-up images. So really, for best results, shoot your macro pictures at f4 or f5.6. Now let's see about vignetting and distortion. The bad news is that pincushion distortion is pretty noticeable here, but the good news is that even at f2.8, vignetting isn't very noticeable. Stop down just to f4 and whatever there is has gone. Now let's see how the lens performs against bright lights. When shooting at f2.8, this lens displays a lot of flaring and glaring. It looks really seriously bad and will quite often reduce the contrast in your images. Stop the aperture down a bit, say to f5.6, and you'll get to see a lot more contrast, thankfully, although some flaring still remains. Now, let's wrap things up by taking a look at the quality of this lens's bokeh. Finally, a nice result. The out of focus backgrounds this lens can produce are nice and soft in virtually all situations, particularly when they're deeply out of focus. Overall, well, if you're looking for a very inexpensive way to get to 2x magnification images, then this is it. Be sure to stop down to f4 for the best results when you do. In most other areas, honestly, this lens is simply pretty below average.